Okay, folks, welcome back to Diablo 3 Hardcore Mode. So, can't remember, we got back into Lurk's Castle, I think. I'm gonna go fight the Skeleton King soon. And try not to die. So, that sounds awesome. So, we're back, Diablo 3 Hardcore Mode. And let's see what I need to do. Talk to the Skeleton King, or Deckard King, to fight the Skeleton King. Go through, click on that. Oh yeah, I gotta get the blacksmith. This should be fun. Let's see. I'm gonna dump some of the stuff in my stash first. Get that out of the way. So it's kind of a sad night last night. Heard about the Ultimate Warrior passing, which kind of sucked. It was a little strange because he had just been on Raw the day before. First time since like 1996 since he'd been on Raw. And he was old and crazy, but you know, he looked pretty good for a dude whose knees didn't work anymore. And he gave one of his typical crazy Ultimate Warrior promos. And it was cool. It was really cool to see him back in the WWE. And then he passed away yesterday. Like just a couple days after getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. It sucks. Because, I mean, regardless of how you feel about how he actually was as a person, which, you know, he went a little off the rails near the end there. Okay, not near the end, for like a couple years before the end. He was a big part of the wrestling business in the late 80s, early 90s. Like, he got a clean win over Hulk Hogan in an era where that didn't actually happen. He was the first guy to hold the Intercontinental title and the the WWE Heavyweight title at the same time. After beating Hogan at WrestleMania 5, I think it was. So he was kind of a big deal for wrestling in the 80s. And, you know, he didn't really have the greatest in-ring style, but always brought excitement. There's something always cool about the way he would run to the ring and shake the ropes, and he was always super exciting to watch. Like I said, the matches weren't always great, but it was still fun to see him do his thing and the energy he brought to wrestling. And as a kid, I was a Hulkamaniac. I love watching the Ultimate Warrior work. He was just a ball of energy every time he took to the ring. And he always brought just the most excitement to everything that he did. And it's a shame. I mean, it really sucks for his family that, you know, literally just 2 days after getting the accolades that he needed for, well, not needed, but, you know, finally getting his due in the WWE for what he did for them in the 80s and 90s. And then that's how it ends. Whoops, didn't mean to click on that. But, you know, it's good. He came back to the WWE. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Had a really great Monday Night Raw moment in front of a crowd that really appreciated what he had done. So it was a fitting way for him to end. It just sucks that, you know, he's 54 years old. And, you know, that's way too young for someone that should have been, you know, having a fantastic life. You know, enjoyed the last bit of his retirement in peace, and now he's gone. Life's kind of weird that way. But, I mean, speaking of WrestleMania, that was a show. Watched it on Sunday. It was kind of cool to see something that momentous happen, you know, live on TV. And, you know, it was different. It was something that was unexpected which is strange considering, wrestling's pretty predictable for the most part. I mean, you could have predicted Daniel Bryan winning the championship and getting through Triple H and having that moment. And it was a cool moment, don't get me wrong. But it was predictable. Most of that show was fairly predictable until The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. I don't think there was a single person that saw The Undertaker losing at WrestleMania. To Brock Lesnar of all people, too. Now, I've written about it before, how it's actually not that bad of an idea to have him lose the title to... Or not lose the title, lose the streak to Brock Lesnar. Like, that's the thing with wrestling is, sooner or later, you're going to go out on your back. And there's a good chance that this is Undertaker's last match. I mean, why have another one after losing the streak? There's no reason for him to keep wrestling anymore. And he's put the time in, he's put the effort, he's put in the work. Oh, I'm gonna die here. So let's see if I can at least get to the... There we go. It's like, there's been talk about him fighting Sting at WrestleMania, and, well, it'd be cool to see Sting come to WWE even just for one match. The Undertaker's put a lot of time and effort and hard work into his career. It's a 30-year career. He doesn't need to get somebody else over at WrestleMania. Yeah, he's still a big draw. People would love to see him wrestle one more time. But, he's had one of the greatest streaks in sports entertainment history. 21-0 at WrestleMania. So, he gave the rub to a young guy. And, well, the young guy may not be a full-time wrestler. He's still someone that actually... he is part of the business. Whether you like what he does in the ring or not, Brock Lesnar is a huge draw in the business, and giving him the title of the Streak Breaker makes him almost an instant legitimate threat to anybody else on the roster. They want to get Daniel Bryan over. Say at SummerSlam, you have Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. And have Bryan beat Lesnar. Or have Lesnar beat Bryan, lose the title, and then you have a rematch at WrestleMania or Survivor Series. You do something to give Daniel Bryan that all-star rub. Because as much as he's the champion right now, he's still fairly young at it. And, he needs some good rivalries to get himself over. And the Authority storyline is cool and all, but he needs something more. He can't just keep doing that. He's been doing it for 8 months. Now let's get my skills changed here. The Vulture Claw kick. Torrent of Fire. That seems like it'd be helpful. Yeah, let's keep that. Man, my throat's killing me today. So yeah, while the Taker may have lost the streak at WrestleMania, it's a new era. That was WrestleMania 30. It's never going to be forgotten for basically that moment alone. And now they can do something different going forward. It's like, let's be honest, the streak was a huge draw for WrestleMania. Well, that kind of sucks that it's gone. It gives them options for what they can do in the future. Say Taker wants to have one more match. Instead of having it be the streak, he can now put his career on the line against somebody, maybe John Cena or Daniel Bryan. Or they can do an Icon versus Legend match with Sting, which would be cool. Really, I just want to see Sting have one more just good, solid run in wrestling, because I wasn't the biggest WCW fan, but I was always a Sting fan. Even from back when he was trying to be like a Hulk Hogan-esque type character, before he did the whole pro Sting thing. You know, he was exciting. He was fun to watch. He was a big part of why WCW stayed around for as long as it did before the NWO came in, and that whole storyline kind of, pushed WCW over the edge. So it'd be cool to see him just have one good, high-profile run. Because, TNA, it's fine and all. There's some good people on there. But, it's not WWE. TNA is not the greatest product in the world. They have some good people on there, Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle, but overall, god damn it, why is there a kid screaming? So there's going to be probably some background noise. Landlords upstairs have kids and they obviously don't know how to be quiet or not scream like little maniacs. But let's make that part of the video. So yeah, all that rambling to say, rest in peace to Ultimate Warrior. And, hopefully next week on Raw, we get to see kind of where The Undertaker's actually at. In terms of, what he's going to do going forward. Like, maybe we get a retirement speech from The Undertaker. Be kind of cool. I'm going to die here. I need to get out of that hole. Let's try not to die here. Because that's going to suck. Let's not die. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what happens with The Undertaker going forward. Then you have the whole Daniel Bryan thing. The Authority angle is going to at least go on until Extreme Rules. Which is fine. It's a good enough storyline. It's been a little bit overdone. 8 months is a long time to focus on one storyline. But who knows? Maybe we'll get something really cool after Extreme Rules. I'm pretty sure it'll be Daniel Bryan versus Triple H at Extreme Rules. And I'm sure we'll see Daniel Bryan go over once again. He deserves to go over. He's put the time and the effort in, and the fans obviously love him. Which it's hard not to. The guy's an immense talent. He works hard. He puts on great matches. So it'd be great to see him get a nice, fairly long title run. Give him till Survivor Series, have him lose the belt. And give him another WrestleMania moment. And people want to give him a chance. He's won the crowds over by just sheer hard work. Think about it. A year ago, he was a joke. He was in a joke tag team with Kane based upon their going to therapy together for their anger management issues. So, he's come a long way in a very short period of time in terms of what his character's been doing. And the crowd love him because he puts the most effort into his in-ring work. It's one of those rare occurrences where, yeah, he has a cool catchphrase. And by catchphrase, I mean catchword. But if he just had that would go away. That would go away very quickly. But the fact of the matter is, he's one of the best in-ring workers that they have. And it's really cool to see that his talent alone is what's propelling him to the top. Because, one of the things with wrestling, you watch someone like Dolph Ziggler, who has that talent, who will sell for anybody. And he went from being a champion to being a nobody. And it sucked to see. Because he did put a lot of work, and he is really good in the ring. His hard work just isn't quite paying off. Whereas guys like, well, I mean, Randy Orton's a hard worker too. He works really well in the ring. Let's see. Let's compare it to... Oh, it's a two-handed sword. That's why. It'd help if I knew how to read. So yeah, wrestling should be interesting for the next little while. And I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with Daniel Bryan going forward. I would love to see him get a really long title run and not have it go away super quickly. I still think Batista's going to get a run in the future. Probably even closer when Guardians of the Galaxy come out. Okay, so I guess enough wrestling talk for today. So let's talk hockey. So I mentioned yesterday that Mike Gillis of the Vancouver Canucks, the president and GM, got fired. And we got his replacement today. Trevor Linden, former Canucks captain, former Canucks player when Marcus Naslund was the captain. And it seems kind of like a PR move. Like, I mean, there has been some success with players coming back and being the GM. I mean, you look at Steve Yzerman over in Tampa Bay. You look at Joe Sakic and Patrick Waugh, the coaching GM president tandem that they have going on in Colorado. It's been really successful this year. So who knows? Maybe that's the kind of thing that Vancouver needs. Because they're not in the playoffs this year, which, you know, sucks if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan. Because we're kind of used to having that first round exit party. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this year's pretty much a write-off. Guys are just playing for the jobs. So we'll see. We'll have the Sedin's healthy. Maybe Kessler will be back. Maybe he won't. And we'll see what Linden can do in the offseason to get us some talent. Because right now, our main talent, which was goaltending, is gone. Thank you, Mike Gillis. And we have nobody to really fill those shoes of Luongo or Schneider. And Eddie Lack's a good goalie. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, he's not the franchise goalie that they need. You just look at the guy. And he's struggled since he took over the number one spot. Which is a shame, because he should have had a couple of years, like Schneider did, to learn. You know, get used to the NHL. Okay, let's not die here. Let's go get some health. Let's kill this guy. So yeah, it should be an interesting offseason with the Canucks. And for all the Canucks fans out there, yeah, we're going to have to find a new team to cheer for in the playoffs. I would suggest Montreal if you're a diehard, just Canadian team fan. Because as far as I can think off the top of my head, I think they're the only Canadian team in the playoffs. Ottawa might be, but I haven't seen much about them or what they're doing. Oh, regenerates life for 1 per second. We'll add that. There's also not a lot of just good goaltending out there right now, which is a shame. Because we could really use, you know, just anybody that's not named Eddie Lack. And, I mean, we have some good defense. You know, Edler may not have turned into the Nick Lidstrom that people thought he would. Which is fair enough. I mean, that's a fairly high expectation. Just because he's Swedish and a good goal or a good defenseman doesn't mean he needs to be Nicklas Lidstrom. But he's still a good defenseman, Garrison has been not great this season, but he's been solid. So maybe with a coach not named Tortorella, who'll actually let him play offense, he'll get back into that form again where, he can actually score some power play goals, which is why we have him on the team. He's not a great defenseman. Hamhuis is back. He'll be good. Hopefully Tana will be healthy and ready to play again. He had an unfortunate season where he got a little bit injured, a little bit banged up. Sedin twins back. And, hopefully Burrows will find that scoring touch again. I mostly blame Tortorella for how Burrows has played this year. Because Burrows and the Things have a very distinct style of play. He's basically the third twin. And he got boned by the style of play. A lot of players did. I mean, Kessler's a fantastic defensive forward, but he still has offense first instincts. And Tortorella wants them to play nothing but defense and hope the other team makes mistakes. That's how he always plays. And that's just not who the Canucks were. It never made sense to hire him in the first place. Ooh, I got a belt. There we go. That's much better. Let's put that belt on. Let's close that. So yeah, it'll be a long off season. I don't think the Canucks will be back into contention, ever again. At least for the next 20 years, because that's how we operate. I mean, 94, they make the Stanley Cup final. Everybody thinks, hey, we got a team here. This will be awesome. I mean, after we burn the city down, of course. After losing in Game 7. But then, shortly after 94, everybody was gone. We'd brought in Mark Messier to basically run the team as the team captain. And that failed miserably. We lost Bure, Linden, Kirk McLean, Ronning. They were all gone. The Courtnall brothers. They were all gone, and we were left with a shell of a former team. That team in 94 was not the same team that, sucked from 96 to, 2003? 2003, we had the West Coast Express, and we had high hopes for those guys. Naslin, Bertuzzi, Morrison. That wound up going nowhere, largely because we had a goalie that we should have traded for a bag of pucks in Cloutier. Which, don't get me wrong, I liked Cloutier. He just was injured more often than he wasn't. So, we've been there. We've done this. We've played this game with Canucks before. We know how this game ends. And it's going to be a long time before they're back in a position to actually, challenge for the cup. So maybe next time they'll actually, win the cup. You can always hope. But it'll be 2014, so we'll say 2024. 2024, the Canucks will be back in the Stanley Cup final. Or they'll actually, hopefully, win. Oh, this is going to be... This sucks. Let's move. Let's grab that. Grab some more health. Hey, we're going to beat Bubba Chompfang. Chompfang. And we leveled up again. Coolio. Okay, let's take a look at the inventory quickly. Rare boots. They don't really do much. They had experience, so... And they're rare, so we'll add them. Why not? Then let's go to skills. Ooh. Deadly Reach has a new rune. Hey, let's give that a shot. And let's go dashing strike. Oh, nice. So what does it do? Quickly dash it for 50 yards. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. So I haven't played the monk since well before the newest patch came out. So I barely remember any of the skills that come with a monk. So I'm basically relearning it in hardcore mode as we go along. And yet, so far, haven't died. It's impressive. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Maybe we'll actually get somewhere in this game before, I ultimately do horribly, horribly die. Because that's almost a guarantee with this. I don't know how to build characters properly, which we're going to discover when we play Dark Souls next. Because I don't understand that game at all. I enjoy playing it. I don't understand it. And it's pretty much the same way here. I don't have the optimized build for my character. Oh. This is going to be rough. Okay, that worked out surprisingly well. Grab some health. Kill a bunch of those guys. And let's kill some more people. Here we go. Killing, killing, killing. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll find the cemetery and we'll call it a game. Didn't get a whole lot accomplished today. That's fine. I'm okay with that. As long as I walk out of this still alive, I'm happy with any result. And we leveled up a whole bunch. Got some more skills. Let's use one. Funny is, I'm pretty sure the Barbarian has a very similar skill to the dash attack. Oh, man, there's a lot of yellow and blue enemies today. So, good job on beating these guys. Oh, I didn't want to click that. Let's kill a bunch of these people. Let's not die. Okay, let's not have this be the spot where the game ends. Okay, time to move. Yeah, it's gotta be a better strategy than just wait in, beat a bunch of people, and try and run away. So that's gonna end horribly at some point. Why aren't they dying? Seriously, just die already. Yep. Maybe if I took this a bit more methodically, I wouldn't be so worried about dying, but I just don't have the patience to, not wait in and try and kill as many people as possible. Which usually isn't a problem, because when you're not in hardcore mode, you just basically respawn where you are, pay some gold, maybe some item health, and you just move on. It's all fine. But this, if I die, this character is dead. Let's kill her. Hey, the healing well refilled. Cool. Oh, let's kill these guys. So, maybe I'll develop some sort of strategy if I can make it to the Skeleton King. And then we'll see just how far I can go on this. Once again, I have low expectations. Like, seriously, where do they keep coming from? Just die already. I want to move on. So here we go. Hey, here we go. Here's the cemetery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill a rock pile. And I'm just going to go back to town. And we'll call that a video. How does that sound for you guys today? Talk to Hedreg. I guess I can't actually use him until I actually get the crown and forge it, so let's sell some crap. Let's go drop some stuff in the stash. Okay, so there we go. That was day 2 of Diablo 3 Hardcore mode. And come back tomorrow and we'll work on day 3. Have yourselves a great day, people. I'm out.